Welcome to another episode of the Jacob Wayne Show. This is your boy Jacob Wayne, and with me, as always, is the lovely and talented Kellen Gibbons. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm a little cranky. Stopped drinking about a week ago. Figured I was going to take a long break, and probably needed to, but definitely bored. And, just like, ugh. Januaries are my least favorite month, too, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, that's a tough time to throw that one on yourself, but I guess that's probably a good way to do it. If you can do it in the hardest months, then you're okay.
I suppose so. But it was definitely a thing that needed to have the brakes put on for a little bit. It's kind of drinking way too much with the whole being stuck inside and having nothing to do. So,
yeah,
figured it was time to take a little break.
I think that's been people all across the country have been experiencing that. Seems like that's been going through the roof, just like a bunch of other random sales of things. But interesting.
This is true. But so speaking of which, January, it's January. Just bleh.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't like this month at all. Never have, never will.
I mean, I don't know, it's like the Monday of the year. It's just starting to get going. You're trying to feel out how the year's going to go, which I hope it goes better than the start of this January. We'll just call that December 37th. And yeah.
Januaries tend to probably be nicer in warm areas. This is now that I'm back in Fort Collins in the Midwest area. Snow is back in my life, and I don't know. January sucked up in Seattle too, but that was also because it was like really cloudy and gray.
Yeah.
But maybe people in California don't mind January so much.
Yeah, maybe it's nice somewhere. This year's been really weird. It's just been we've been getting all the like negative winter things, but we haven't been getting that much snow. Like it just snowed a little bit early, but hasn't been adding. Like a lot of the like slopes facing the sun are pretty clear now, getting all back down to grass. And it's supposed to be all skiing time, which I think is like how most people who live here make it, that's why they still stay here, is because they can just go skiing all winter. I know so many people that go at least once a week, and I know one person that goes like 5 or 6 times a week. So that's crazy.
See, like all I needed was to be able to go to like a bar or something. Just something on the weekend, go out, do a little something, and then I'm good. Being kind of shut inside, but not having that is making this winter extra rough for sure.
Indeed. It is nice to have that alternative. Definitely missing that. Missing music in person and stuff. Yeah. But hopefully later this year it'll come back.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of which, I realized I had been neglecting my bass a little bit. Shocky's recording guitar for Gamma Paw's new release, and the bass and vocals are laid down, so I've just kind of been kicking back, letting him do that. But I realized I hadn't been playing for a minute. So I went back through our demos for the next Fakoshka record. And yeah, I'm definitely rusty. So it's a good thing I'm practicing.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this as an amp fella. I've been looking up amp settings, right? Like on your low, mids, and highs.
Yeah.
And just like, what's that sweet, sweet bass tone? And I got the three mids in the middle. So there's like the low end, then there's low mids, and then a mid, then high mids, and then a high.
Okay. Yeah.
And everybody online saying I want it to look like a W if I want to get kind of that funkier low end tone. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that seems like a pretty reasonable thing. You definitely the mids are kind of where the punch comes in. So that
Yeah.
is you definitely want to have that uh in there. I'd say that probably sound pretty good. That's actually kind of what I was gonna recommend if you were gonna ask me that, because you can't do like a full W with that. But I was gonna say like keep the main mid knob like boosted a little bit, have the other ones kind of to the left and to the right, and then yeah, crank up the bass down a little hair and the treble up just hair. That'd probably sound pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know, I find that every time I come back after taking a little break, I'm never satisfied with my tone. I'm just like been trying to dial it in the last 2 days. It's just not quite where I want it to be. But
Mm-hmm.
oh well.
It is a
I feel like
never.
it happens every time.
Yep, it's a endless journey. Lots of
Hmm.
people are constantly doing that. It seems like guitar players, especially, are constantly hunting. They're always looking for that next pedal, or
Hmm.
they think it's money or something that'll be the thing that does it. But
Yeah, I'm just a lot of the songs for that next record. They whatever you want to call that. I do the drop D. So on the low D string and the A string, I like to do this little like two note chord thing,
mm-hmm.
and it gets this nice, really bassy growl. And I've been trying out this technique I learned from Ryan Martini, the bassist from Mudvayne and Soften the Glare. He does a slap technique where he uses like his pointer finger and his middle finger, almost like a claw,
Yeah.
and like taps with that. And I noticed that was getting a little bit better tone, but in general, yeah, like there's a lot of slap parts on these songs, and just was not popping the way I wanted it to. So that's
Yeah,
that's a work in progress, but I don't know. I
indeed.
haven't been playing in drop D for a while either, so maybe it's just sounds a little weird to me, and who knows.
Yeah, but it's a definitely gotta. If you get out of the mindset of that, it can take a sec to drop back into it. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, and yeah, vocals are a whole other thing too. It
oh,
is weird to notice the difference in approaches between the two bands.
yep, definitely a shift. And practicing playing and singing is also something you can lose. I've found out. I
Oh
don't,
yeah.
I don't do much singing and playing when unless I like have a gig. I don't really
Hmm.
practice it that often. And this year, having way less gigs, having yeah, the singing's kind of gone away a little bit. Been trying to bring it back.
For sure. So yeah, it looks like it'll be a lot of sitting around smoking weed since I can't drink, and just getting reacquainted with the bass, I guess.
No, that don't sound too bad.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Indeed. And how much longer you got on that?
Um, it's kind of indefinite at the moment, but definitely I have to do it at least until February.
Nice.
Like, so at least a month, but and I think it's even longer than that.
I see.
But I was gonna be doing it while I'm helping friends with some work, and I just figured, hey, I have to wake up a little earlier. That'll help me wake up earlier, and probably would give my liver a nice break.
Yeah. Well, a good plan.
Yeah. Um, Watching any of the NFL playoffs?
I haven't been like I saw them from where I'm playing, down at the restaurant. I think they had some of them on.
Sure.
But yeah, so just a little bit, keeping an eye out while I'm sitting there picking in the corner.
Yeah. Well, my Seahawks lost,
Oh.
and in expected fashion, though, sort of,
Oh
because
yeah.
they always manage to do that. But give a quick shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Looks like they're doing well for the first time in a long time, so that's probably who I'm going to go for this year.
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while. I kind of forgot that was even a team.
Oh, yeah. So that was what I was looking at before we started recording this thing. So,
Nice.
other than that, though, man, there's just like not a lot going on.
Yeah, it's
Have you been watching
January.
any movies, anything like that?
Well, did just have a pretty interesting experience. Uh, this is not movie related or anything. This is just a random tangent. Uh,
Hmm.
but went down to my buddy's house because somebody he knows gifted him a giant cut of mountain lion. Just like a big, like a, I don't know, part of its arm, it looked like maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
just a big old cut of, it was all still had the big piece of like skin or something on the side they had to cut off. They still had to butcher it down pretty far, but yeah, so I had fried up some mountain lion. Never had that before. Chalk that one off the old meat list.
How was it?
It wasn't like amazing. It
Pretty
wasn't
gamey?
bad. It tasted like pork. Like it looked
Mm.
and tasted like pork to me. That was what I was thinking. So, yep, we did have to cook it. You want to cook that stuff all the way through because they carry trichinosis. So we
What's trichinosis?
some crazy disease that animals carry, and if you got it, it wouldn't kill you. You'd get sick for a while, but then if something ate you and you died, that would get trichinosis. It's one of those things. Like this lives in you forever after you get it.
Hmm.
If there's any trichinosis specialists that are listening and we're totally fucking this up, please write us. But yeah, so some crazy disease. I'm trying to think of what that's called when it can like keep on living. That's some kind of like, I don't know.
Kind of like mad cow disease, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't know, it's like a bacteria, not a virus or what, but don't sound good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot I don't know there. I remember being told that one reason you don't want to eat human, other than the morality of it all, is that it would drive you crazy, and that's what happened with the mad cow disease. Is they're just grinding
Yeah.
up beef, elements into their usual feed, and so cows are just eating bits of cow, and it'll make you go crazy. And from what I remember reading, was just something like if you eat a member of your own species, that it'll fuck you up.
Yeah, it's a little built in thing there. The anti-Donner Party.
So
But yeah, I think it is the same exact like type of thing that attacks like the mad cow disease. It is the same disease that will happen to humans.
mm.
Isn't that what happened to that happened in like The Road or something or some movie I remember some guy's shaking and it's like, hey, he's been eating too many people. We gotta go.
Cannibal the musical.
maybe that one seemed so much more fun.
It's quite a fun movie.
Oh, it's a
Yeah, I don't think
fantastic movie.
he does go crazy, but I think it's more from being out in the snow in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I initially thought you were talking about taxoplasma or taxoplasma or however you say it.
Oh,
The stuff that's in cat pee
yeah.
that like the rats and mice get addicted to. And
Huh.
some people theorize that's why cat ladies go crazy. And of course,
Yeah.
there can be cat men, but just that they're surrounded by a bunch of cats and they get this parasite in their shit and makes them go nuts.
Yeah, I've heard about that. And I think it is like a bunch of cats, unkempt. And they can
Mm.
have that happen. There's also, like just like their claws, they get scratch gets you and gets infected, and they can carry some pretty bad stuff. So
Cat scratch fever.
exactly, that'll kill you. So I'm so allergic to cat scratches. Oh wow.
Mm.
They get me at all, and it just starts hiving up everywhere. They don't bug me, I can breathe around them fine, but they scratch me. It's over. Gotta get out the Benadryl.
Yeah. It is interesting what certain creatures can be pretty gamey and just like kind of nasty, but then you just don't really
Mm-hmm.
look at them that way. That might be the
Yeah,
taxoplasma.
yeah. It's
Just
trying to
convince
warn you.
human beings that we need to have them around. I personally find cats adorable and love them,
Yeah,
but yeah.
you need this thing. Don't eat it.
And then one of my buddies growing up, he had pet mice, and you just let them like had them in your hand, and they just run around on you, and
Yeah, I
you
had some
just
of
bust them
those.
out in front of people, and it just freaked them out.
Yeah, they were so nice. Yeah, I remember somebody I knew had a big old rat that was like hung out on his shoulder. It was super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I also had some gerbils, and those things are weird. And one of them went crazy and ate all the other ones. And so there's that.
Yeah,
On that note that we were already talking about, it did end
this
up
was a
dying.
thing. Yeah, a thing we ended up talking about at work the other day was we were talking about the story about how somebody carved Trump into a manatee.
Oh yeah,
Just like we're not even gonna go down the Trump hole. Obviously, that's all fucked up, and it was probably Antifa and none of that. But we were just thinking about like, well, that's such a bummer. And they're like, is there any animal that you would have preferred to like switch the manatee out with? Though, is like, what's the most hateable animal? And I
hmm.
realized I kind of had a hard time with that. I couldn't really come up with one, but mine ended up being hamster. I kind
Oh
of don't
shit,
like hamsters at all.
they're kind of assholes.
Yeah, and it was because growing up we had this like mean one that would just eat all her babies, and if you tried to like feed her, she'd run up and like bite your finger and
Yeah,
totally judge all hamsters based on that one crazy one.
and it's probably lived forever. The
Hmm.
assholes always do.
And it's like I know that you and your brothers and stuff really like snakes. Like I don't like them at all, but I respect them. I wouldn't say I hate them.
Yeah,
They're just like, ugh.
but
No thanks.
but hamsters. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like fuck you, hamster.
for real. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. Now I'm gonna say hamster too, just because that's true. Like my mind went to like those evil geese that like chase people.
Hmm.
No, aggressive birds.
Yeah, there's something really punchable about a bird.
Yeah,
Just even the really cool ones, if they get up in your shit a little too much, you're just like, man, fuck off.
smack.
Like,
I have not had occasion to punch a goose yet, but not gonna
No.
lie, I hope one tries.
Yeah. Who do you think's the most punchable bird?
Hmm. I don't know.
Pigeons are pretty close, man.
Oh yeah, if one was getting up in you, they all rotund. Give one
Sky
the boot.
rats.
Yeah, those are seagulls, because a seagull would actually probably come try to do a flyby, steal something from you.
Yeah, they're pretty punchable too.
I had the weirdest. We stopped at like a. It was a pretty popular interchange, I think, because there was like two highways intersected pretty close by. But we stopped at like a road gas station, had a Subway or something attached to it. So we were sitting there
Mm.
eating lunch, and there was just these seagulls everywhere, and they were all just. We would sit there and watched them. They all were like fighting, keeping their area from where people would drop garbage and fries and stuff. I bet people just fed them. And they were
Mm-hmm.
just chatting at each other, and if one would get too close, the other one would just start doing this very strange noise. And yeah, it was pretty entertaining. But yeah, they totally come try to steal something from you. Have to get punched.
Yeah.
That's our state bird.
Why don't you go ahead and explain that to our listeners if they didn't grow up in Utah?
Why we have the sky rat. It's the
Yeah,
second
why would
edition.
the seagull be the Utah state bird?
Well, way back in 1842. Is that right? I don't know. That sounds wrong. Probably later. I can't remember
Something around there.
But yeah. So the Mormons were out here, you know, spreading polygamy and all the goodness. No, I'm just kidding,
Mm-hmm.
Mormons. Um.
They didn't spread goodness. We're just playing with you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is in the turmoil times. I think this is right when the polygamy was getting split up, and that's probably part of what they thought. But there was a great plague of locusts upon the land. But now here in Utah, we got the dang seagulls. They ate up all the locusts. So the Mormons made it the state bird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a disgusting, you know, filthy animal. So, I know,
It fits Utah.
it does. It is really pretty, but once you get close, you're like, ugh, a little bit.
Kind of punchable. Gets in your business too much. You're like, God damn it.
Yeah, that is true.
Makes me wonder what the Colorado state bird is.
Well,
Probably like a dodo or something.
okay. That's your guess. Let's see. I'm gonna guess.
Flamingo.
Oh, it's one I would have never guessed. It's a lark bunting.
Good old Lark Bunting.
Yep. He never took a swing. And he always
No.
tried to make it to first.
Trying to be the base stealing champ.
So close. Old lark.
Well, so there's no movies you've been watching though?
No, I haven't had a chance to watch any new movie. I did catch a little bit of which one was it? Oceans. I think it was the last one. 13?
I
Yeah.
think they brought the number down.
Wait. 12?
They did Ocean's 8 and made
Oh,
it like
shit.
all ladies or something.
Interesting. Well, it
I
was
think
one of
it's
the
like
old
11,
ones.
12, 13, and 8.
Okay. It was one of the old ones. I think it was 13.
I've
So.
actually never seen any of them.
It was good. I was, it was on TV. I was just watching a little bit. And I kind of got sucked in because I want to watch this all the way through. Like, not on TV. I hate watching movies on TV. So,
As do I.
but yeah, that's about it. Haven't been playing a lot more Stardew than watching movies lately. But I did, since we talked about it the last episode, I did notice that Burn Notice is on Amazon Prime Video. So I am watching that through again, which is great, bringing me great joy. What about you? You seen any good flicks?
I watched Goodfellas and The Departed, both classic movies, both
Mm-hmm.
directed by Martin Scorsese. Um, I mean, they're really well-known films, so don't really need to go into them too far now. But it did make me realize we need to do a top five Scorsese films. But
Yeah,
I need to see a lot more of them. His earlier career, I have a lot of viewings missing.
yeah.
So I have to go through that list before I can do a top five. But if you haven't seen The Departed or Goodfellas, I mean, gotta get off your ass and go see them.
I think,
They're like some of the best crime drama films ever.
yeah, I still think I need to see The Departed. I have seen Goodfellas. There's a lot of Scorsese I need to see. You haven't seen the new one? I can't remember what you thought about that one. Or if
The
you've watched.
Irishman.
Yeah,
Oh, it's really good. It's over long. No
yeah,
reason for it to be as long as it is, but Martin Scorsese almost always makes like these 3 hour long something or other films, and that one's like 4 hours.
oh geez.
So if you treat it like watching a TV show and just like kind of start and stop it, that doesn't hurt it, I don't think.
There you go.
But yeah, I wouldn't say it's his best either, though. Um, he's had a lot of variety in his career. Like he does do the gangster thing a lot, and I mean he might be the king of that. But there's just certain films that really got that Scorsese thing going, and then other ones that are like, oh, that was him. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's not as distinctive a voice as the Coen brothers, I don't think. And it's up there. Like, it's probably like easily in my top 10 favorite directors of all time. I don't know about top five for sure, but
yeah.
um, yeah, great stuff though.
Nice.
But I mean, that was like coming back from work, just kind of throwing something on, so I wasn't paying as much attention. But yeah, so that's something we can throw down. We'll do Scorsese at some point when you and I have both seen enough.
Yep, I need to watch some of the old ones I've seen and watch some more of them. That'd be fun though.
Mm-hmm. And then I did say I was going to talk about Raised by Wolves a little bit last time, so I could talk about that a bit.
Okay.
Um, all I would say with that show is you have to be patient for Ridley Scott bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Another great director, but he throws in a lot of like weird allegories and metaphors and all this into his stuff that sometimes never comes to fruition. It's all like hinted at, and he just kind of expects you to follow along with whatever his thing is. And that was the case with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, where he came back to the franchise after all these other people had done it. And he wanted to do a prequel to Aliens, which ended up being Prometheus, and it wasn't even really an Aliens movie. And a bunch of people were disappointed, but then he's like, all right, give me another chance. I'll make Alien Covenant, which is like another prequel, but a sequel to Prometheus. But then they kind of just disregard the Prometheus stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
long story short, it's a really convoluted universe. And then when HBO Max comes out, they're like, there's this exclusive show on our streaming service. It's going to be called Raised by Wolves, produced by Ridley Scott. And it's about two androids, mother and father, who go to this planet, Kepler 22b, and they're going to settle and raise 6 human children and start humanity over with because there's been this gigantic religious war on Earth and the Earth is destroyed because of it. So humanity's fleeing to go colonize space. We follow these two robots, and without giving away plot points and spoilers and all that, basically craziness ensues. Religious humans find them on that planet, and the mother and father robots are staunch atheists, and there's combat back and forth, and the kids questioning things. And visually, it's
Oh,
awesome. Sci-fi wise, it's awesome. And then as you get into the show, there starts to be elements that are like, hey, this is a little bit like Aliens. The androids
yeah.
have like milky white blood, and there's all these other little things. And then a couple things show up, which made me be like, God damn it. If they hint at this stuff, and then they're just like, well, it's kind of sort of maybe related to Prometheus. I don't know. Like, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, oh, wait a minute. If they're connecting it to Prometheus, they might actually finally start explaining some of that convoluted bullshit from that movie in the next movie. If that's the case, this could be like a really cool show. If it's not, then it has a lot of like elements of like Lost. I don't know if you watched that show, but it's known for basically dragging its viewers along episode to episode.
Yeah.
And that's where this like mystery box thing in the plot comes from. Like what's in the box? What's behind that door? What's in the pit that they keep showing? And
Yeah.
when Lost ended, it was exposed that, oh, we didn't know how we were going to end this thing. We just kind of kept writing stuff, and by the time we got to the end of it, we're like, oh, geez, this is a lot of crazy mystery stuff that we're not sure how any of it interconnects. So it's this, and let's end it.
Oh boy.
And Game of Thrones had a similar issue. It's going along great until they ran out of material written by George R.R. Martin.
Yep.
The dudes that ran that show wanted to move on and start working on Star Wars stuff. So they just sped up the whole thing on the last 2 seasons. And even though I don't hate them as much as a lot of people do, they are pretty like, holy shit, what happened to this show?
Yeah. Many
And
people.
so, yeah. I highly recommend it, but this is coming from somebody who's really sick of TV shows and just how they drag you along, and there's always a cliffhanger at the end of every episode. Like,
Yeah.
I think after Game of Thrones and a couple other things, I was like, I'm just gonna get back into movies. They're
For
like,
real.
and old ones too, because the new ones are just a lot of that, comic book movie stuff, which is fine, but I don't always want that. And
Uh-huh.
those are episodic as well. They have the cliffhangers at the end of them, and I'm just like, show me something from the 70s. I'm following this character around for about 2 hours. I get to know him at the beginning. I know him by the middle of the movie. Oh, something happened to change their character. The end. And I'm just like way more satisfied with that right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and get caught up on that, trying to watch The Wire, and I'm just so not in the zone to like, let's dig in and really get to know these characters over the course of 40 episodes or whatever. And,
Yeah.
but maybe I'll come back around. Maybe I'm just temporarily tired of it.
Yeah. The pendulum will swing again, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I think all it requires is that you just know the ending. Don't
Okay.
start something and not know the ending.
That's a good plan. I support that.
Definitely what happened to those Star Wars movies. Like, oh, we'll just give each episode to a different director every time, and that'll work itself out.
Yay.
It's just like, no, great, you fucked it up.
Ugh. Indeed.
Anyways, moving on. Dr. Dre was released from Cedars-Sinai Medical Center
Yay.
on January 4th. He had a brain aneurysm,
Yeah, I heard about that.
and that was upsetting to hear about, but it looks like they're taking good care of him, and He just wrote, "Thanks to my family, friends, and fans for their interest and well wishes. I'm doing great and getting excellent care from my medical team. I will be out of the hospital and back home soon."
Nice.
So, Dr. Dre getting some good doctoring, I guess.
Yeah, they always give the doctors the best doctors.
That's true.
Oh.
And, yeah, so that's some good news. At least we didn't lose another major musician this week, as far as I know.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Knock
about
on
any.
wood.
So,
Also, an interesting thing, January 16th. I saw this today. In 1938, on this day, there was the first jazz concert held at Carnegie Hall.
oh wow, that's
That was
cool.
Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
And then also on this day in 1963, Los Angeles nightclub and music venue, the Whiskey A Go Go opens.
Ah,
So, kind of two major music venues on this day.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Good day for music history.
for sure. Any new music you've been getting into?
Um, there actually is a trio I've been checking out. I wish for the life of me I could remember their name. It's something really weird. But yeah. It's like Karangachan or something crazy. I don't know if that rings any bells for you, but
Do they do kind of
like surf rocky stuff, like spacey.
yeah, but
Yeah,
kind of, or like Chinese music a little bit
yeah, it kind
with
of has
that
that
kind of
little
scale?
taste. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I have heard them.
Karangaban or something. Yeah,
I can never remember what it is, but yeah, it's like Asian music kind of mixed with surf, kind of chill.
yeah. They were playing it down at the sound system at the restaurant I play at is out, so the everybody's bringing Bluetooth speakers, and a couple of the bartenders
Uh,
like that stuff, so they were playing it.
yeah,
The guy that showed me that, I turned him on to the Forbidden Ensemble, so I got to go listen to that. And if
yeah,
anybody hasn't heard of them, they're awesome. They're on Spotify, and they just remake some really old music from like 70s pornos. But it's some tasty jams.
nice. What was the name of that again?
Forbidden Ensemble.
Forbidden Ensemble. That's right.
Yep. All the names are like, "Come in, dear. Honey, I'm going to take a shower now." And yeah, it's pretty funny.
Is that gonna fit in there?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Um, I've just been on a Rammstein kick lately.
Always
Nothing new from them necessarily. I've just been diving into the discography.
nice. Finding any gems?
Um, I'm listening to their newer albums more than I ever did. I think when I first really got into them, it was with Rise, released in 2004.
Yeah. I remember that one.
And that one was kind of a bigger album for them. It had "We're All Living in America," just called America, but yeah, that's the chorus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good song.
Then there's Moscow that they did with that tattoo music duo, and yeah, they're just a wildly consistent band for what they are. Just
And
stompy heavy riffs with like some dancey techno stuff and German guy talking about some weird shit.
yep, very very good stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good discography to listen through. Have to try that out.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do one of our Civ 6 and throw on a Rammstein album.
There you go. Plays Germany and get it on.
Mm-hmm. And they released a self-titled record in 2019, so not that long ago, and I think that's just as good as any of their other stuff. So they're They're sticking with it, staying consistent.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. With that, yeah, man, it's one of those slow days.
Yeah, well, I know you're not drinking anything, but I could give a
Hmm.
shout out to this delicious beer I'm drinking. I'm drinking a Westmalle Belgian Trappist ale. So
Nice.
it's brewed in a Trappist abbey under the supervision of monks, and yeah, it's delicious. This one's the double, so it's a little darker, a little probably more alcohol, but
Double bocked.
just a double, Dubbel. The double bock is another style, a whole different
Mm,
style.
I see.
Which those ones I
I
can't
am.
drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, I think it was actually the Devastator is what did it to me. I threw up after drinking. I don't even remember why, but yeah, the Devastator happened, and then I just haven't been able to drink. I can't drink a Devastator at all, and I have trouble with other box now.
Is
It's
it
like,
just because of the flavor? It makes you want to like almost throw up.
yeah, just a little bit.
I've never had that with any beer. I get it with like 99 apples
Oh yeah.
or like Yukon Jack,
Oh man, yeah. I can't do the Jack no more.
the Jaeger.
Oh, the Jaeger. These are all because of backpacking too. I've taken all
Yeah.
these on backpacking trips, and oh, there was one night on Jaeger. We had to finish the Jaeger because we were tired of carrying it. It's a terrible night.
One that I really like it for how it gets the job done, but like Bacardi 151.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep. I've
No,
never
that's rough.
tried that one. I've only had it like mixed in stuff.
That's a quick story I could tell. I'll leave my two friends' names anonymous, but it was in the early days of drinking. Like, hadn't we could probably count on our hands how many times we'd really drank, other than like sneaking a sip of beer or something. And we went to this party. It was kind of near USU, and we must have been like 18, 19, that kind of age.
Woo.
So we got in, and people are sitting around having shots, and we're just clearly there to like, hey, older kids, and maybe, yeah, could we get a shot too? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so one dude there who he either just jumped on it immediate and was ready to go, or he was like the bartender there because he's like, oh, what do you guys want? Okay, it's like, let me do this one for you. It's like a Jamaican flag. I don't think that's the name of it, but it looks like a Jamaican flag.
Yeah.
And it's like some kind of green liquid, and then Bacardi 151, and then some grenadine, I think. So it kind of had like this red, green, gold
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And
Goldschlager.
no, Bacardi 151 might have been the gold.
Oh, word.
But either way, he lines up the shot for me, my friend, and his girlfriend. And what's cool about him is you could light those shots on fire because of the 151.
Yeah.
So we're all like, ooh, ah. And we take the shots, goes down pretty easily. He's like, you want another one? We're like, yeah. So we proceed to finish a whole bottle of Bacardi 151
Whoa.
between the three of us, and none of us are experienced drinkers. So they were like, clearly, like, let's get these kids fucked up. And the buddy and his girlfriend, like, sitting there hanging on each other, like, I love you. No, I love you. Just all that stuff. And then she bolts towards the bathroom, and he goes into the bathroom, like, oh, wait, babe, like, I'll help. And they're in the bathroom. I'm not really even thinking about what's going on in there, but I'm trying to maintain. I'm getting a little mouthy. And a couple people in the area are like, well, let's go outside and smoke. We'll just keep chatting. It's like, I could use a smoke. I don't even smoke, but go out there and like just kind of huffing on one, talking whatever. And then that smoke hitting me, just like, oh my God, I need to go. Oh, fuck. And I run to the bathroom. I come bursting into there, and both my friend and his girlfriend heads are just resting on the toilet seat. And there's just puke all over the floor, all over the toilet seat,
Oh
like a little
God.
bit in the sink. And I'm just like, I just go, ugh. And I move like their heads out of the way, and then I puke into the toilet.
Hey, you
And
made
just
it in the
like,
toilet.
all three of us are just hanging on that toilet. Just, they're almost passed out. I at least get rid of all the stuff, and I come out and I'm like, look, I need to lay down. And they're like, okay. So they get this blanket and roll me up in it and just put me on the couch, and I'm just sitting there while they're playing video games or whatever. They ended up calling me like tamale because they rolled me up like a tamale.
Nice.
And for years after that, up on campus at USU, if I ran into anybody that was at that party, they were just like, hey, tamale. It's just like, son of a bitch. But
God
it was a
damn.
good memory with that friend and his girlfriend. We went to the girlfriend's house and snuck in and changed our clothes and did all that, trying to not be caught by her dad. And
Yeah.
success.
Nice. Yep. That's
But
a good.
Bacardi 151,
So,
I'll still drink it.
wow.
Other ones, yeah, 99 apples, Jaeger, all that stuff, I can't touch it.
Yep. Gets it. Yeah. Oh man, the Jaeger for sure. It's like an immediate, just like, gotta.
Hey.
It starts lurching. Yep.
Well, and today I'm 34, drinking water.
Yay. Water's good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
It never lets you down.
Yep. With that, let's move on to some Dear Jacob Wayne and some weird news. Call it good.
Sounds good. Let's hit it. Well, all right. The first one up. The title of this one. My boyfriend is always asking him to. Okay, they fucked up. My boyfriend is always asking him to rub him. They meant to say is always asking me to rub him, and I'm starting to find it really
I
weird.
always ask him to rub him.
I mean that might make this letter make more sense.
Maybe.
So here we go. My boyfriend for the past 2 years just takes his pants off every time we are sitting and expects me to rub his balls. I didn't used to care. 2 years later, I find it off and annoying. Do other men do this too? If I don't, then he gets upset. That's it. That's all of it.
Well, clearly the guy's an asshole. And, you know, everybody would love to have their genitalia rubbed by a loved one. Well,
Yeah.
it depends on the loved one, but essentially, you don't just like walk into the house, drop trow, and like, all right, well, there it is.
Well,
Like, get to work.
the part is, she says, I didn't used to care. And then 2 years later, all of a sudden.
Yeah, suddenly him demanding ball rubs, it's like without even verbalizing that he wants it to happen, he just drops his pants in front of me. Like, that got annoying.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But, yeah, this is definitely, I don't know if this was gender specific or not, but her fault. Yeah, you basically allowed him to set up the precedence that he can just present, and you're gonna rub his balls for him.
Yeah.
And like now, 2 years later, you're gonna be like, "Look, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like asked me if I'd rub your balls first." Just like, what is all this bullshit? And like, I remember reading somewhere that one of the first ways that you form distrust with a partner is more often than not usually just changing a habit or changing the frequency in which something has been happening, like without any like effort really. So it's like if you're always home at 6 and then you show up at 9 p.m. one night, you're like, what the fuck? You're always home at 6. Mm-hmm. And you're like, it was just traffic. It was bad. Like, I'm sorry. But just that one time, that one inconsistency, even though it was innocent enough, like can like sow the seeds of distrust. So
true.
Basically, this girl screwed up by rubbing balls, just like, oh, he'll really love it if I just rub balls and like, don't even make it a thing. Because now he thinks, oh, I have the best girl ever. I just drop my pants and she plays with my balls. I don't even have to ask. And then 2 years later, she just doesn't really want to do it anymore. He's like, what the hell? You cheating on me with the mailman or something? Like, what's going on? And it's all because you set up a precedent for something you weren't ready to go the long haul for. So,
yep, if you gotta start rubbing, you gotta finish rubbing.
I think what she should do is start just dropping trow and just like standing in front of him, like, well,
taint it your turn.
He's like, and just don't say anything, but just like if he's like, what? I'm just like, ugh, and just stomp out of the room, but then trip and fall because the pants are around your ankles.
Rubs on my ovaries like Denny's.
Yeah, so I suppose the advice is either get some rub vengeance or talk about it like adults.
Yeah, both are good options.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, do you want another one, or do you want to go on to some weird news?
You can hit me with another one.
Okay. So, I realized today, after logging into Tinder for the first in a while, I'm reading it exactly how it is. It was hard not to put in the word they meant. That the guy I've been dating is still active on Tinder. Some background, me and this guy have been dating for 4 months. We had discussed whether or not we were talking, seeing anyone else. No from both of us. And I thought we were both on the same page. We both have said we are looking for a serious relationship, and I really like this guy. So I'm a bit stumped as what to do. I'm not sure whether to just ask him now or later. He has a family event, so I don't think it's good timing, or leave it until I see him next. Part of me really wants to know right now. Is there another option? How do I bring this conversation up?
It's just...
She doesn't see it, does she?
No.
Like,
it's just, yeah, this guy's not honest. You should just be done with him.
Well, that was the thing I was going to say, though, is like, how do you know he's active on Tinder? If you logged into Tinder, aren't you doing what you're getting mad at him for doing first?
Well,
what if he just forgot to
that's her just logging into her Tinder to see if he's on Tinder, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. That's just kind of funny.
No, yeah, it's one of those things. It's a stupid double standard, but apparently a lot of women I know get away with it all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Just like, no, I'm going to search through your phone. But how dare you, like, suggest that you could look through mine? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, she's not going to get called on for that, but yeah. I mean, dating for 4 months, he's still using it. Yeah, you're getting on and checking it isn't trustworthy either, so I would suggest to him to leave you as well. But they both kind of just seem like toxic people.
Exactly.
So, enjoy it for what it is, and, maybe just drop trow in front of him and just point at it and say, huh, rubs?
Get rubbing or I'm leaving.
yeah, just realize that you're both immature morons and you need to grow up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Tinder's just like a real fire. You got to do some rubbing to start the flame.
True.
All right. Well, let's get on to some weird news. So, headline: Angry squirrel aggressively attacking residents of Queens neighborhood.
Hmm.
Uh, denizens of New York City's Rego Park? Rego? I'm guessing Rego. That neighborhood says an aggressive squirrel has jumped on them and bitten them in the past several weeks. Uh, one lady showed a bruise on her wrist, and so it landed on her wrist and then like bit her fingers and hand. We were wrestling in the snow, and there's blood everywhere, and my finger's getting chewed, and it won't let go. So she took a picture that is not on here right now, but yeah, there's like blood dripping down the snowy pathway.
So it jumped like right on her hand and just went nuts.
Yeah, apparently it's been hiding in trees, and 2 other neighbors got attacked too. So
damn,
they just like jump out of trees and start going.
Rabies shots. That's what I recommend.
So, squirrels apparently don't get rabies that often, so hopefully they're good on that. That is.
I also feel like they don't attack humans that aggressively that often either.
That's true. That is a good. Does seem like it might be a warning sign. So,
because I mean, I've seen some crazy nutty squirrels, but
yeah,
I don't think I've seen any that are like that. Like growing up, my buddy Steve and I were like watching my cats like hunt a squirrel.
Yeah.
And we were like kind of felt bad for the squirrel a little bit. Steve more than me. I not as sympathetic, but he's just like, oh no, we gotta keep him from getting that squirrel. I'm like, all right. So he's trying to get the cats to fuck off. And somehow in the process of that, squirrel comes running down and trying to get away from the cats, jumps on Steve and starts climbing up him.
Oh my god.
And then when the cat starts going for him, he's like, no, fuck. Like, it's just...
This isn't right to mess with nature. This is what happens.
And I think I had some family members around. I can't remember who, but they were like dying laughing because they're just like looking at Steve's face as a squirrel's on him and like a cat's trying to get on him, but and the claws are obviously going into his leg. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Quit laughing and help me out. But yeah. Man. So don't try to fuck with nature.
Yeah, it'll fuck back.
But even that squirrel didn't like try to bite him or anything. He's just trying to get away. Yeah. That was the only time I've ever seen a squirrel go like right for a human.
Yeah, I don't want any squirrels knowing they can bite us and start to try shit.
And that's another that same 2 cats. It was Toby and Scotch were their names.
Ooh, in a Mormon house.
One time they were both hunting together and they were trying to get a squirrel up in a tree, and we were watching that too. Guess this is like pastime for 90s kids.
Good times.
And Toby got like thrown out of the tree like hard.
No damn.
Like it wasn't just falling out, like he just like went flying out. And I'm like, huh. And he hit his side, like didn't land on his feet like a cat. Like something like fucked him up. And we're just looking up there and it's like kind of a family of squirrels, but we're like, how would the squirrels do that? Like we didn't really piece it together. But Toby just like turned and looked at us and saw that we saw, and then he like wandered off and we never saw him again.
What?
Yeah, like, you know, maybe he got hit by a car. It's just all happenstance, coincidence, but that happened and he wandered off and we just never saw him again.
Like, well, fuck y'all then. Not gonna
he's just like embarrassed or ashamed. Just like, I brought shame to my family. I don't even know what it was, but
bested by squirrels, I leave now.
Mm-hmm. And Toby and Scotch were lovers.
Who?
And yeah, Scotch got all real depressed after that.
Damn.
And they were both male cats, so it was like my first experience with a homosexual relationship up close.
There you go.
It was natural and beautiful.
Dang, you had like that, and one of them was named Scotch. That's some pretty progressive cats.
It was Broke Cat Mountain.
Damn.
As soon as he fell out of that tree, it was Broke Cat.
I'm out of here. I gotta ramble.
No, yeah. And when people talk about it, it's like, yeah, it's like being homosexual is completely natural. It happens in nature. And every time I hear that, I'm like, yep, absolutely.
Indeed.
There was female cats around town, but those two just, nope. It's me and you, boo.
There you go.
So yeah, when Toby took off, it was sad. Felt for Scotch.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, fuck squirrels is all I'm saying.
I go back. Those are the ones I want to tattoo Trump into.
Yeah. Or just like take him underneath that particular tree. Why are we stopping?
Oh, you'll see. Now, squirrel.
All right. Well, probably not the best podcast episode on my part. I'm definitely feel a little sluggish. Maybe it is just the no drinking or whatever, but oh well.
Oh, it was fun. We had a good time.
That's good. But let's see. Before we wrap it up, we'll be releasing our episodes at 6 a.m. on Mondays. That's for you working folk. You'll have something to listen to beginning of your work week. Then you can just kind of enjoy your weekends without worrying about needing to check in with us.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to Paul Christensen. He sent us a lovely email just saying that he enjoyed the Coen Brothers episode. And we'll be sure to do some other deep dive movie podcasts here and there. We're hoping to get a movie commentary episode up sometime soon. But more details on that as we get them. And yeah, if you have any subjects you would like us to dive into or anything along those lines, write us at fakoshka@gmail.com.
Indeed. And yeah, we'd love to hear some ideas or just more praise like Paul sent. It's all good. Just shoot them on over.
Send all the love.
Indeed.
Well, I'll talk to you next week, Kellen.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to The Jacob Wayne Show. If you would like to contact us, please write us at fakoshka@gmail.com. That is FAKOSHKA@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Simply search The Jacob Wayne Show and it should pop right up. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. Please write us. It helps add content to the show and makes the show even better for you, the listener. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome